Libra, welcome, and welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. We are talking about May already. Crazy. I hope that April has been and is treating you well. We're switching things up here a little bit, at least for this month. We'll see how it goes. If you have an opinion about it, let me know in the comments. But I'm working with a different spread. I've kind of felt called for a while to work with a different spread. And anyway, I'm just kind of getting around to it now. I'm a Taurus. I'm very slow moving. Anyway, so it's a 9-card spread, basically. What I'm going to do is I'm going to shuffle the cards 3 times one way, 3 times another way, split the deck, and I'm going to take the top 9 cards off. 3 is just my number, so there's not necessarily... It's just, you know, if you have a number, you know what I mean. And if you do have a number, drop it in the comments. Let me know. Because if you know, you know. So, we are asking for a message for May 2022 for Libra. May. All right. And another reason why we'll see is because, like, you know, trying to fit everything into the frame. Like, these are smaller cards. These are called pocket size, so they're just smaller than like the normal size cards. So we'll figure, I just need to figure out if I can kind of work my configuration to fit everything. So we have the 9 of Cups, the 5 of Wands, Page of Cups, King of Cups, 10 of Cups, the Moon, Page of Swords, Strength, and Queen of Cups. Holy moly, there's a lot of emotion going on here. And then we have the Empress at the bottom of the deck, which is Venus, which is very much your card also. Hold on. Okay. So this is actually take 2. I literally did the whole reading from beginning to end earlier, and the majority of it didn't record because whatever, storage and all of that stuff. So a lesson for me in checking storage and making sure that I do have enough before I make these videos. But also, you know, what is also kind of interesting is that I left the spread on the table after I did the reading. And I don't usually do that. I usually, you know, I kind of have my own little ritual, like, about closing out a reading and kind of closing out the energy of that sign that I'm reading for. I have like a little ritual in the beginning, and I have a little ritual at the end, and I only did half of the ritual. I literally just got up and walked away from this. So I think that clearly there's a message here, and maybe it was the way that I was delivering it. Honestly, who the hell knows? But I did decide to just redo it instead of, you know, hours later trying to get myself back into the flow that I was in before. I don't think it would have been very authentic, and it probably would have seemed discombobulated. So blah, blah, blah. Without further ado. So this is the spread. And it's a little bit like bingo. There's not necessarily like a rhyme or reason to it. We're going to talk about literally everything. And, you know, the messages could go diagonally. We're going to talk about each row. We're going to talk about each column. My intention is to, of course, just kind of present like all of the messages that I'm getting from it. Like anything that's jumping out to me, I want to provide to you. So there is kind of like a beginning, middle, end energy just because of the way that the spread is. So we begin with the Nine of Cups. And the Nine of Cups is literally like the wish fulfillment card. The Nine of Cups is you feeling good about yourself. When we talk about the nines in most suits, this is when we have individually realized the energy of the suit. And cups have to do with our emotions, right? There could be a Cancer that you're dealing with. I mean, cups are, you know, the water signs, so Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. It doesn't have to be, just pointing it out. There's also this kind of level of contentment here, right? I mean, she's got a smile on her face, hopefully you can see. Just, you know, almost just kind of like, I have this feeling of like being able to kind of take a deep breath. Or even exhale if you feel like you've been kind of holding your breath for a while. This could even be some sort of accomplishment. Like you could just be feeling, again, it's something that you are feeling about yourself though. And generally it's good. It's a good feeling. And then we have the Five of Wands next to that. And the Five of Wands, the fives in general talk about conflict. They're transitionary energies. So, you know, it's this message about understanding that you are transitioning from one place to another. So, you know, kind of not getting stuck in this energy. I've also heard this card be explained as like kind of the training for battle. Like, you know, and specifically I think about Mulan when they're, I will have a Disney reference for everything. But specifically, you know, like when they're training for going to battle, right? Because right after the Five of Wands is the Six of Wands. So that says, you know, you come out of this Five of Wands energy victorious. There is this bit of competition in here though, too. So, I mean, you could be feeling like you are kind of up against other people, you know, like other opinions. You know, the wands talk about action and communication. It talks about passion, creativity. And in this card, it's kind of like, you know, there's too many chefs and not enough cooks, or however that saying goes. But it's like everybody has an opinion, but nobody's really listening to each other. Even the cats are arguing. So it's just, it's high tension. And then we have the Page of Cups. And when we talk about the pages are kind of the younger, a little bit more naive type energies. If it was a person, this could be somebody who's like adolescence to early 20s. But again, it would be that energy of being in your adolescence or early 20s. And because there's also this level of playfulness here and imagination, right? Like we kind of see this character painting. There's an easel here. There's all this paint on the ground. It's just kind of like going for it and just kind of throwing caution to the wind. There's this playfulness that comes. And again, cups, right? It has to do with our emotions. So, you know, I mean, you could be trying to get to this place of being able to express yourself emotionally and almost even trying to like reinvent yourself. Because again, when we talk about the pages, that's kind of like, you know, when you start like a new job or you start learning something new, like it's that feeling of things being new. Like you don't necessarily know a lot about it yet, but it's just kind of a matter of like digging in and the repetition and putting your brush to the canvas and just kind of, you know, like allowing the flow, right? And that's how you gain the knowledge. That's how you discover how you feel about things. And then we have the King of Cups. here. And the King of Cups, you know, we get to the Kings, that's the highest expression of the suit, right? So the King of Cups is very much in control of their emotions. This is somebody who has kind of taken a deep dive, pun intended, with the water thing. But this is a person that has taken a deep dive into their own feelings. And, you know, they started kind of sifting through all of the heartbreaks and the disappointments and the rejections and all of the successes and basically everything that, you know, makes up who we are. The King has gone through all of that. The Kings are also, you know, a symbol of authority because it's the highest expression of the suit, right? So you embody the things, the suit, and you're also able to expand that to people around you because generally Kings are going to have a kingdom and a community to quote unquote rule over, right? So it's about expressing your feelings to somebody else. The King of Cups is also explained as being compassionate and graceful and empathetic. But again, you're able to express that outwardly as well as for yourself. And this King is even kind of on his own little island, which is interesting. We will circle back to that, actually. Yeah, remind me. I don't want to like get too far ahead of myself and confuse myself and confuse you. So we're just going to kind of continue moving on and then okay. And then we have the 10 of Cups as the central energy. And we also have a progression here from the 9 of Cups to the 10 of Cups because, you know, you go from being the 9 of Cups and be able to express that and feel that energy within yourself to the 10 of Cups to where you're able to express that with your family, with your community, with your work, right? Like everybody's needs are being met. Everybody feels like their cup is full. Like everybody is feeling fulfilled, right? And then we have the Moon, and the Moon talks about things not being quite what they seem to be. There's a little bit of illusion that comes with the Moon. The Moon is also very intuitive. It's a lot of shadow work also because just the correlation between nighttime and shadow work. But also, so in this depiction, we see this cat here, and when they look at their reflection, they see themselves as being more of a panther, right? So, I mean, this is maybe how you think other people view you, but this is how you see yourself. And that could even be why, like, you know, there's this kind of feeling of isolation here. Because maybe you do see yourself as the King of Cups. Like maybe you do see yourself as being able to express yourself emotionally. Maybe you feel like you have expressed yourself emotionally to the people around you. And maybe, you know, again, you just don't think that they are either seeing you correctly. This could also be a transformation, though, that you're going through. Like you could be, you know, kind of taking on the energy of the King of Cups and expressing yourself to like your friends, your family, your job, your whoever. Because with the 10s, there are other people involved. So that would just depend on your situation, of course. And maybe you are showing them, hey, like I'm not this cute little kitty cat. I'm actually a fucking panther. So get it together. And then we have the Page of Swords. And swords talk about, well, swords is air. So, and this is the only air card that we have for an air sign reading. And again, when we're talking about pages, this is, you know, like a new perspective. This is you, you know, kind of implementing a new perspective. We have all these books down here. There could be some research involved. Again, you know, like you could have been kind of doing this deep dive and really kind of discovering things about yourself. And this to me feels like somebody is reintroducing themselves, because they're also holding the Ace of Swords here, which is the sword of truth. So this is, hey, no, like this is my truth. And this is how I'm expressing my truth. And with it being a page, it's definitely something new. And it's definitely kind of something that maybe just kind of needs like a little bit of, what is the word I'm looking for? Like, I keep wanting to say finesse, and I don't think that's the right word, because it's kind of like, you know, when you do start expressing yourself, like if you do start saying, and it's not even like you are actually saying, hey, I need to reintroduce myself, because the person that you knew a month ago, 6 months ago, a year ago, yesterday even, that's no longer who I am. So let me reintroduce myself to you, who I am today. But it's kind of like, you know, when you start embodying that, and when you do start expressing yourself in the way that you do want to be seen, and in the way that you do want to be perceived, it's kind of like, you know, like you get some clarity, and you're able to kind of make little tweaks and changes like as you go. And, you know, it's kind of like, what does feel good? What does feel like it's authentic to me? And then we have Strength, which is a card of Leo. Could be a Leo involved. The moon is Pisces or Cancer, depending on who you talk to. But we can see that, you know, this figure is kind of, you know, like having a little bit of control over this tornado. Strength talks about kind of like having this inner tenacity and this inner determination. This to me also kind of feels like multitasking for some reason. Because, I mean, she has this lion licking out of her hand, but she's, you know, like magicking this tornado. And there's a sense of ease here too. So this is almost like kind of taming the chaos. And it's almost kind of like, you know, if you did kind of start expressing yourself in a way that is authentic to you, right? Like if you started expressing yourself as the panther, if that's how you see yourself. And of course, it doesn't literally have to be a panther. I'm just talking about the energy. It could be a panther, absolutely. But it's almost kind of like not even worrying about how other people are going to react to that. And really, you should not be concerned at all with how people react to you being authentic. The only responsibility that you have is to live authentically to yourself in like integrity, right? Like you're not responsible for, and the word just left my head again. It's like this tornado, like it seriously, it's like a funnel, but it just like, all of the information just goes out of my head. Anyway, you are not responsible for controlling how other people react to you. Because that's the thing, right? Like, and that could be the thing that has been happening, is that you have almost been kind of transforming who you are based on either, you know, what other people say you are, or, you know, if it made other people feel uncomfortable, or whatever the case may be, right? Like you could have, you know, maybe said, hey, this is who I am. And other people are like, that's not going to work for me. Or I don't see you that way at all. So you're like, oh, maybe I'm not that person. Then maybe I am who they think I am. No, fuck that. You are exactly who you think you are. And if you think you're a panther, you are absolutely that damn panther. And then we have the Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups, when we talk about the queens, we already talked about the king. So when we talk about the queens have embodied the energy of the suit. So she is, and she's also pregnant, which is interesting. And it's cool. Like I just noticed all these fish kind of jumping out of the water here too. But I'm getting this feeling of, you know, like people being attracted to you based on, like literally just based on your energy, right? Because it's like this light bulb goes off, this beacon in your energy field goes off, because here you are like living authentically who you are. So that allows other people who recognize that in you to find you and connect with you. And like, you know, there's this attraction type thing going on here. And, you know, when we talk about pregnancy in tarot, because we have the Empress here who is also pregnant. When there's pregnancy in a tarot card, and of course, you know, I would never want to predict a pregnancy, because I know that for some women, you know, there is a journey that comes along with getting pregnant. So I would never want to predict that. You can see there's 2 pregnant women on here, and you can, you know, assign a meaning to that if you would like to. But when we talk about pregnancy in tarot, it's birthing, it's like fertility and opportunities. It's birthing opportunity into your life or into your existence, or even into general existence. And I also think what is so interesting, and this is something that I, like in the middle of the previous reading, my head exploded, is that we have this 10 of Cups here in the middle. Okay. And we have the Page of Cups here. This character is the Page of Cups. I mean, they're literally wearing the same thing, same clothes. And then we have the King of Cups, who is this guy here, literally wearing the same thing, minus the little cape. Same, you know, headdress, same everything, right? Even the cat is the same. And then we have the Queen of Cups here, literally wearing the same thing. There's that cat again. But she's no longer pregnant in the 10 of Cups. The baby's been born here, right? So there is this, this energy of like, you know, I mean, there could be something that you are trying to manifest by way of community or family here. And even, you know, I mean, this is a bit of a triangle here. So, I mean, there could be more people involved in this situation. Clearly, these 2 people are different people also. So again, right, I mean, you know, it would depend on what your situation is. But I think that is so fascinating that literally almost all of the characters that are involved in this are on this card. Down to the cat. Like the cat is here, 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 here. That cat looks different. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. And what is also interesting is that this king is kind of isolated. Because the Nine of Cups, like she's on a beach. The Queen of Cups is clearly on a beach too, but the King of Cups is on an island. Okay, so yet again, it like stopped recording at a weird place. So I'm just going to kind of wrap this up. Anyway. So I know, like I was talking about how this kind of looks like a triangle, and what is interesting even about that is that the moon is at the base of it. So there's obviously, like there's even something in this situation that is not as it appears. So it's almost kind of like I'm getting this message of, you know, if you think that everything is fine and dandy and, you know, blissful and whatever, like it may not be. So, because again, you know, the moon does talk about illusions. So just kind of be aware of that. So I am, of course, like I said, I'm just going to kind of wrap it up here. And again, thank you so much for being here. And if you haven't subscribed, I'd appreciate it if you did. Check out my Instagram, check out my Etsy, all of the things, right? Thank you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.